Welcome to Hiring Happy Hour, where we celebrate the human side of hiring. I'm your host, Nicole Hammond, and together we'll pull back the curtain on people shaping the future of work, the innovators, the dreamers, the change makers behind today's hiring experience. These are the real stories behind the dashboards, from leaders transforming talent acquisition to the everyday moments that remind us why we love hiring in the first place, to connect people with purpose. Hiring Happy Hour is brought to you by Smart Recruiters, an SAP company, the AI-powered software for superhuman hiring, helping organizations hire faster, smarter, and more human. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for this episode of Hiring Happy Hour. I'm your host, Nicole Hammond, and I am over the moon excited to have someone wonderful here. She is an experienced recruitment leader with over 15 years of specialized experience in veterinarian and medical recruitment across Australia and beyond. She began her career in veterinary recruitment with VetLink Employment Service before broadening her expertise in medical recruitment with Wavelength International, specializing in psychiatry, anesthesia, and ICU. With a background in veterinarian science, she brings a rare combination, and I do mean rare, of clinical understanding and recruitment expertise to her work. Her approach bends strategic insight with genuine care, making her a trusted partner for both candidates and stakeholders. Please join me in welcoming Head of Talent at Greencross Pet Wellness Company, Angie Goldman. Welcome to the show, Angie.
Thanks, Nicole. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. I've had a few guests now, and I can tell you that when we first spoke, you were very relatable. Just all the things that you speak to and talk about. And so I'm really excited for our listeners to hear more from you because I think that they will feel that authenticity. And so with that, I want to jump into our primary question, which is, what is your hiring happy hour? And for those of you that are new to our program, let me explain to you this a little bit. So hiring happy hour is a moment or an impactful milestone that our guests have within the hiring space. And it can be anything. We've heard to date around transformation. We've heard about humanizing hiring. And today, I think we're going to get a little different feel, which I'm very excited about. So, Angie, please tell us more about your hiring happy hour.
Yeah, absolutely. So this role that I'm in, this head of talent with Greencross, it's not a role that I really expected to be into. So it was a happy coincidence, I think is the best way to describe it. A couple of people left our business and moved on to, other roles and other companies. And they tapped me on the shoulder and asked me to move into the role. So that was really exciting. It's been a big learning curve, particularly because at the same time, we lost pretty much our whole team. So
Wow.
I came into a role that was new. I had to build a new team. So find all new recruiters except for one. So I've still got one existing team member and train them up. So some of them came from within the veterinary industry. Others came from recruiting backgrounds. So quite a different experience base and knowledge base. And I'm really proud of what we've done. So it hasn't been smooth the whole time, but we're here, we're happy. We've just done a little reshuffle in the last couple of weeks within the team, so still the existing team, but slightly changing roles. And I'm really hoping that we've found our happy place now.
Oh, well, first of all, kudos to you. I mean, building something somewhat from scratch or starting a new chapter with little to none of the same team is not easy. And I think a lot of us can relate, right? Whether it's expanding our organization or going into a new role where they say, hey, I want you to take on X. And I'll tell you, I've had 8 different roles within Smart Recruiter. So I've definitely been in that, sure, why not? Let's take on a new role. Never done this before, but I'm a builder. I could do this. And I love that. And so tell me more about how you got that perfect combo, because from our first time talking, it sounds like all of these individuals have very different backgrounds, contribute so many things, but as you described it, it is a perfect storm, perfect team that you've established there.
I think we really have. So Alana would be our longest serving team member, and she works looking after our clinical support role. So we'll have vet nurses, practice managers, anything non-vet, essentially. And I have just recently moved another team member, Victoria, in to help her. And her background is as a veterinary nurse. So she brings a wealth of in-clinic experience and that real understanding of what we need for those roles, like what we're looking for from a qualifications, a skill set, a personality, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
personality is the biggest one. So we buddied those two up together. We've also got a GP vet portfolio, and I've got Marta, who came from human health, working within our public health system here in Australia, and Roz, who came from a veterinary practice manager and business owner background. So those two really vibe well together. They've got different ideas, and I think it's a really good partnership between those two. And then we've also got our specialty and emergency vet division, where we've got Charlene, who came from also human health but more aged care, and she's really doing that headhunting, that specialist recruitment, which is really quite niche. She's only been with us for a few months and she's doing amazing work. And then Prachi, she works really closely with, and again, someone who came from human health or medical devices, so brought different experience but a lot of talent acquisition background. And then me, I'd only been in the role for a year and a bit when I changed. So, I'm an ex-agency recruitment who's suddenly become head of talent.
You're a builder. You're a builder, Angie. So, for those that are listening out there that may not be in the veterinarian space, but also serve a specialty market or just industry wide, if we want to expand it to that, tell me, like, what is the methodology to the madness? What are the fundamentals that you look for as you build a new department or rebuild a department that's
Yeah.
supporting talent?
I think the most important thing to me, whether I'm recruiting for my own team or recruiting for our clinics, is that personality and those communication skills. Because TA can't do all the heavy lifting. We need to be able to build relationships with our stakeholders at the site level, and the operational level, and have really strong relationships with them in order for them to then, if we call, they pick up the phone straight away. But if we don't have that relationship or that respect, then we can get overlooked and it makes our job exponentially harder. So really important on that side, but then also for that candidate experience. So I want people that prioritize an excellent candidate experience, and who are able to build those strong bonds with the candidate, because it's a deal changing jobs. So they've got to trust us. They've got to feel like we are being genuine and have their best interest at heart. So that's probably my number one thing, whether it is my own team or, our clinic teams.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I think we're hearing more of that in today's world, whether it's industry specific or specialty specific, of having those trusted conversations, being very honest, being very open of everything that could be possible taking on this role. And I appreciate that in a very AI automated forward recruiting world, is that we don't lose that. Share with us more about what you guys have achieved in this year of building and what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, so we have filled some really critical roles recently. And I guess if the audience don't know much about vet recruitment, it's an incredibly candidate short space. So it doesn't get much harder than vet recruitment in terms of the availability of candidates. So I think to have filled quite a few critical roles is huge. We've got, if I look at the last 2 weeks alone, we've got 3 new specialists joining our network, and that's huge. Because, with specialists, we aim to find maybe one a month, because they are quite rare. There's not many in Australia, so we often have to look overseas and move them and their families over. So, knowing that we've done that in the last couple of weeks is a really big deal. What I'm really looking forward to is, if I'm going specifically smart recruiters, we are starting to roll out the Winston suite. So I'm looking forward to getting rid of our old chatbot and getting Winston Chat up on our careers page.
I'm excited for you too.
And I think another thing that I'm looking forward to is we've got Smart Analytics Pro now. So having some more tailored reporting that we can do and some dashboards that people can just go to and see for themselves what we're doing and what's working, rather than me having to justify all the time why I don't want to pay for another ad, or why it's a bad idea to spend our money in a certain area. They'll be able to actually see for themselves.
Oh, love that. Now, I'm just thinking more about specialty market and you talking about this accolade of hiring one specialist a month. How long does it take you to source and hire those individuals?
Whew, that's a tricky one. It's generally, so it's usually all of our specialists come through headhunting. So,
Mm,
looking for people who firstly have a degree that can register here in Australia. So the right base degree, then the right specialist qualification, and then they're willing to talk to us. So that alone can take months to get people on, actually talking to us and being able to articulate to them why Greencross or why our specialty and emergency network. And then some of those people, to become a specialist, you have to do a 3-year residency program similar to human doctors. And then you have to complete all of the mandatory requirements of that and sit an exam. So often they'll still be completing their residency when we're talking to them, and then their exams might be another 6 or 12 months off before they actually become a specialist. So we'll start talking to them then. Sometimes they'll accept a job before their exams. Sometimes they'll go, well, actually, I want to finish this, and it might be a 12-month lead time before they actually start. So they'll accept a job, but we still need to wait another 12 months for them to join the business.
that's a lot of planning. That's a
Mm.
lot of planning. That's a lot of patience.
Yep.
That's a lot of engagement over a long period of time. How do you stay up on this?
Luckily, Charlene's incredibly organized. So, and the other part of that is that's a really hard sell to our sites. Why should I wait 12 months for someone? My perfect person might come up. They might suddenly, appear and be able to start tomorrow. So actually getting them to understand how unlikely that is. I'm probably more likely to win the dream house that I bought a ticket for Christmas. So actually selling that to them and articulating it and getting their buy-in is as much of a battle as actually getting their candidates as well.
Wow, I feel like you are truly, when you hire an individual, it is quite the accomplishment, right? We think of these situations where they're high volume.
Specialists? Yes.
Yes, specialists. And I think too, if you may not think of yourself this way, but you have to be a seller, right? Like not only are you the trusted person, but you're selling them on the business, becoming part of this beautiful family community. Tell us about the retention. Like, are you proud and do you still know a majority of these that you brought into this beautiful
Yes,
place?
I actually, so we have an annual conference each year, and I love going. My favorite job at conference is being on the registration desk because you've got everyone coming in to get their lanyard and scanning in, and you can go, oh my God, it's you. Do you remember? How's it going? All of that. Absolutely love that. So we've got a good retention rate. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but I think as a team, we really pride ourselves on not just hiring to fill jobs, but hiring for fit. So getting the right person the first time and hopefully them having a really long career with Greencross.
I love that. I love that. And I think that's important. And you should be proud of seeing those individuals and the
Oh, I
length
love it.
and just the memories. I love that too. I love that too. Um, I want to talk ideal state, right? When we first spoke, you mentioned strategy and tell me as you now have established this beautiful foundation after taking a year plus to build, you have these critical roles that you're hiring for, you have a plan in place. What do you see on the horizon? 2-year, 3-year plan as areas of focus.
Yeah, I'm really excited about, hopefully getting us to a point where it's less of that working reactively to fill those roles and having the ability to be more proactive in what we're doing. And I'd really like our team to become more than just talent acquisition business partners, but more talent advisors.
Mm,
Because I feel like there's a difference. between the
Oh,
two.
yeah.
So I want them to be the experts in what they're doing and be able to provide that advice to the teams and have the teams trust them, and really, I hate to use the word partnerships, but that's what I'm looking for. I want that really strong partnership between each of the people in my team and their stakeholders. So that we kind of work synergistically, and it's less us chasing them or them chasing us. It just kind of happens organically. And we could go,
Yeah.
okay, well, let's look at the future within our business. We've got a vet at this site who considering retirement in the not too distant future. So, what's our contingency plan then? Like, how are we succession planning for that rather than one day getting a call from that area manager and going, oh, hey, our vet director at this site has decided to retire quick. We need to do something about it. So, getting to the
Yeah.
point where we're really thinking about that. And even if I think about our grads and our interns, because we have a big grad and intern program, making sure that we're having those conversations with those guys before they get to the end of their program. So, at various points throughout that, so that we can retain them within our network. So, whether it's in specialty and emergency and they want to go on and pursue a specialist pathway or do an internship in a different area or even move into GP, make sure that we've, had them there for a year and don't suddenly lose them because we can offer them pretty much anything within that network. So, and if we think about GP vets, GP grads, do they want to go and do an internship? Do they want to do specialty and emergency? So, having more of those conversations, and helping that internal mobility more.
Love it. I heard that she's offering everything, so please, please, take a look. No, joking aside, I do appreciate how forward-thinking, how organized, how strategic you are thinking, and in the world of specialty, how important it is, right? Not only are you thinking of the past about retaining and ensuring, like for retirement, as you mentioned, but your university, but all those forward thinking and that thoughtfulness and planning that has to go in play.
Mm.
And it does come back to the data, right? The data that now people will be empowered to see, view, get their hands on, get in the stories that it needs to tell for their stakeholders. You mentioned allowing your team to be more strategic, more in that partnership mode. And that comes with, I wouldn't call it sacrifice, but what I tell a lot of our stakeholders, having your shoulders lighter because you're relying on automation, you're relying on tools to help you. Where do you see that for your team? Where are they allowing for the tools to truly do the what I would call mundane tasks, to allow them to be more strategic?
Yeah, absolutely. Our clinical support currently is the portfolio where we're using, if I think of the automation within Smart Recruiters, that's where we are particularly using it right now. And, we've got knockout questions right at the beginning of an application for any of our vet nurses. So whether they hold qualifications in the first place, have they got minimum experience, do they have Australian work rights? So that's doing a lot of filtering because you can imagine that's more, it's not quite volume recruitment, but it's a lot more volume versus our
Yeah.
vet recruitment. So it's just cutting out a lot of the noise there for those two recruiters so that they can focus on the candidates that we can actually place.
Yeah.
So it's been really
Yeah.
helpful there. And, I hope in 2026 that we can start using, the self-scheduling for screening calls and interviews, a bit more of that function within Smart Recruiters. And yeah, just from there and keep slowly adding things in.
I mean, slow and steady is the right pace,
Mm.
especially for your group since they have so much going on. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear more about what the future holds. I want to pivot now. We've talked a lot about the organization. We've talked a lot about you and the team building something beautiful. I want to hear more about you, and who you are, who Angie is as an individual, and what possibly drove her to be the builder that she is. So tell us, Angie, outside of work, what is your happy hour? What brings you bliss?
Phew, I'm very busy outside of work, Nicole.
This I know. This I
Yeah.
know and appreciate.
Yeah. So I'm a single mother to two small boys outside of work, a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. So that keeps pretty busy, particularly when you throw in two dogs and two cats. and like gym obsession. So, between all of that and work, there's not much space for a great deal else. We did just have a week at the beach, and that was magical.
Love it. So you're superhuman, you don't sleep. I'm sure all the single moms or even moms can attest the 2 boys in that age range is a lot.
Oh my God, it's so loud.
My gosh. I have a 5-year-old and he throws all things, and I have 2 older daughters, and I
Yeah.
will tell you there is quite a difference between a boy and a girl. Just wasn't expecting everything to be thrown and
Mhm.
everything to be so yeah, pow, bang, boom, right?
Yeah. Thank God for noise cancelling AirPods at the end of the day, because sometimes you need them, right?
Yeah, just that moment of peace, and the exercise, right? It gets you there, it gets you therapeutic. Oh,
Mhm.
I love that. And this beach trip, just sounds divine. Please tell us, where did you go?
No, so we went up the Sunshine Coast to a beach called Marcoola. It's just, I think most people would know Noosa in
Oh,
Queensland. So
yeah.
it's just south of Noosa. So I took my 2 boys and my 2 Labradoodles, and I'm not actually sure out of the boys or the dogs who loved it more, because everyone just loves being at the beach. I don't know. There's something magic about that salt water.
And the air and just getting outside, uh, good for you. You look refreshed, energized, great. Noosa yogurt is the one thing when I went to Australia and went to the town of Noosa. There's Noosa yogurt from that town. If you are in the States and you know what I'm talking about, it is my favorite yogurt. So I recommend you try it if you haven't already.
Yeah, it's a special place up there. We did go and do the national park walk in Noosa, and had a swim in one of the bays surrounded by that national park, and the water's just flat, and you just kind of bob in the water. It's pretty great.
Love it. I'm with you. I'm a beach girl too, and just getting outside and water. There is something about water that just sets your mind right. So
Yeah,
that is lovely. We're gonna pivot to a game of this or that. So I think we talked a little bit about this, but have you ever played this or that before?
I have not. No.
All right. So I am going to give you 2 words or 2 items, and I would love for you to share your instant thought of which one resonates with you most. If you cannot decide and you feel, both or neither, let me know. We can talk through it. All right?
All right. Yep.
Okay. All right. First one, resume or LinkedIn profile?
Resume,
Okay. Okay.
but with a LinkedIn profile stalk.
Fair, fair. So that auto parse, make sure you have your LinkedIn link in there.
Yeah.
AI or no AI?
I am pro AI with a human overlay.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So I think there's a trap at the moment of just sending something that's been written by AI without editing it. And what we're ending up with is everything's pretty homogenous.
Yep. Would agree.
Doesn't tell me much about you. So I want you to do that, but then put your own twist on it.
Love it. Love it. Use it as a first version, iterate.
Yep. Or refine with it.
Yep. Agreed. Agreed. I
Yeah.
use it all the time, but I do exactly what you said. So thank you.
Yeah. I think I've trained mine well at this point. It sounds like me.
Pretty soon we'll be naming them. All right. On the topic of AI for vacation or AI for meal planning?
I haven't actually used it for either at this stage. Um, I can see maybe meal planning because I hate cooking for my family at the moment. So I can see the appeal there.
Yes, yes. I mean, we should just take it a step further and have robots cooking for us because that would make
Amazing.
everything
Sign
better.
me out.
Me too. Me too. I actually used AI on my last vacation, not for the entire plan, but I will
Nice.
say in moments of travel, just asking a simple question about transport or just asking, would you rather more of this and that to the AI? Got some great insight. But to your point, I think you have to take it and then do something with it. All right. I love this one. Find me or find you.
I think by virtue of the space that we work in, it's that going out and hunting. I would love it if they all came to us. That'd be incredible. My job would be easy. But I'm
Here,
not like that.
here we go. Let's put it out there. Wish list.
Yeah. That's please come to me.
please come to Angie. But yes, for the niche space that you're in and for the specialized roles you're hiring, I think that's probably the norm. I think
Yeah.
everyone has the same wish as you with specialized roles, that it would be nice for them to be a source pool of them. And who knows? We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Maybe 2026 is the year.
Hey, fingers, toes crossed. All right. Career path or whatever comes my way.
I would like to think that I was a career path person, but we know by now that I've kind of ended up here by accident. The reality for me has been a bit of whatever's come my way. Um, and it's, I've been lucky enough that it's kept me within the vet industry.
Yeah. But you've done amazing things. You've done amazing things. So that's the best part of it.
Yeah.
Career site or billboard, job board?
I like both. I think both have got their place. A piece of work that we want to do this year is improving our career side. But I think the beauty of a career side is it tells you more about the business. So you get that bigger picture and gives you that opportunity to do a bit of a deep dive into the culture and the benefits. Whereas if you're on a job board, you're just getting whatever's in the job ad.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a component too of candidates that go to career sites? There's more of a want and desire for that organization because they've done their homework versus
Yeah.
job board. I feel like it's like click and apply.
Submit CV.
Yeah.
Submit CV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. All right. I love this one too. Reward or recognition?
Again, I think they both have their place. I'm probably more of a reward person, but if I think of my team, there's a lot of them that would like recognition before rewards. And as a manager, I have to remind myself of that as well. Because, when you don't need something, you don't necessarily think to do it for others.
Yeah.
So just having that reminder in my head constantly, don't forget to recognize your team and do that publicly so that I'm filling their cup.
Yeah. I want to ask my sales teams this question because they're in sales. So they should be reward driven.
Mhm.
And there is also like the prestige. So it's a great psychology question in my mind.
Yeah. And I think, sales background, recruitment. So
Right.
of course it's
Exactly.
going to be reward.
See, I'm recognition.
Are
Isn't
you?
that
Okay.
funny? I wish I was more reward driven. We could
Mm.
go down a spiral here, but I think I actually appreciate being valued
Yeah.
versus monetary. And don't tell my boss that because I'll always take a comp increase.
I'm just naturally competitive. I think that's what it is. Runs in
Yes.
my family.
Yes. These are all great traits to have.
Oh, yeah. I'm owning it.
All right. Good manager or fun job?
I think I would take the good manager because if you've got a good manager, a job that might not be the most exciting job or the most fun job
Yeah.
on paper can become really enjoyable. But if you're in a fun job with a bad manager, is it still a fun job?
Great point. Probably not. Probably not. 4-day work week or work remote?
I have to say work remote because that's what I do and it works in my life. So I would take that every day of the week.
Yes. There is a certain someone, though, that works better in a work remote world. Again, from what I've learned from you, Angie, we are very similar and we probably don't shut it off.
Yeah.
So work remote, they're getting the best bang for their buck.
Yeah. And if it was a 4-day week, I'd still be working on that 5th day anyway.
It's totally. It's all ideal. All right. Ooh, a good one for you. Dog or cat?
I've got both, Nicole, so I
I-
can't choose. I don't have favorite babies, but maybe my dogs.
Yes. Let's talk about a cat versus a dog.
The dogs are always happy to see me.
Right? That never ending unconditional love. But fair enough. I won't tell your cats.
Please don't.
All right. Last and certainly not least, since we are talking hiring happy hour, wine or beer?
I am probably more of a beer or champagne
Ooh,
person. I
okay.
don't drink regularly, but if I do, a glass of champagne's going to hit the spot. Or
Right.
if it's a really hot day at the beach, because we're in summer in Brisbane right now, I'll
Yes.
take an ice cold beer.
There you go. There we go. And it just sounds better coming from you, an ice cold beer. Yes. I'm in for it.
Australian accent.
I love it. I love it. I probably don't do it justice, but I do love it. Oh, Angie, thank you. This has been amazing. Tell people, where can they find you?
I am on LinkedIn, Angie Goldman at Greencross Pet Wellness Company, or anyone's welcome to email me if they want to get in touch. It's just angela.goldman@gxltd.com.au.
And know she's always sourcing for those niche roles. So she is
Yes.
a fun manager at a fun company. And, in the this or that, if you want a good manager, Angie's your gal. Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been so fun. And I think hiring happy hour hopefully is giving you some nuggets, whether it's just taking a moment to pride yourself on your own accolades or, learn something from these as you're going through some sort of hiring topic, transformation, anything in that regard. But thank you, Angie. This has been another excellent episode of Hiring Happy Hour. And thank you, everyone. We will see you next time. And that wraps another episode of Hiring Happy Hour. Thanks for tuning in and for believing, like we do, that hiring isn't just about filling jobs, it's about the impact we make. To catch more stories and show notes, visit hiringhappyhour.com. This episode was brought to you by Smart Recruiters, an SAP company, an AI-powered platform for superhuman hiring. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep humanizing hiring. Cheers!